naked, naked, we're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. I said, naked, naked, we're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. This story, first of all, I have to tell you, I am breaking a promise that I had made to never tell this story. And I must tell you that I've told it many times. So, and I made this promise to a young lady at her wedding party. It was at a lovely inn up in Vermont, and she had a band, it was outdoors, and she knew that I was wanting to tell the story, because it also has a little song, and you know, the combo was there, and I thought I could do it. I had to promise never, ever to tell it. Now, let's flash back to where this started. She was about 2.5 years old. I loved to sing nonsense songs, and one of my favorites was no more booze, no more booze, no more booze on Sunday, no more booze, no more booze, gotta get your can filled Monday. She's the only girl I ever did love, with a face like a horse and buggy, standing up against the wall. Fireman saved my child, but the child was bigger than the fireman. Full of nonsense. And she sort of shook her head and said, sing me a naked song. And I said, I don't know a naked song. So I started to another one, you know. Oh, rum, rum, my gum. I never eat fruitcake because it has rum, and little rum turns a man into a bum. Can you imagine a more sorrowful thing than a man in the gutter with crumbs on his chin? She had left, came back, stark naked. And said, now sing me a naked song. And you've heard of strokes of genius, of course. Well, I had a stroke of nonsense. And I started right away singing, naked, naked, we're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. I said, naked, naked, we're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. What about the bear who's got a lot of hair? What about the yak, he's got a furry back? Well, he's naked, naked, we're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. And so over the years, I would tell the story, and friends would add little verses. There was, what about the duck? Or the ducky's got feathers for all sorts of weathers. Everyone knows the elephant wears hose. I mean, they had all sorts of it went on and on. I got some more, like, what about the young aardvark who takes his clothes off after dark? And there's the quick brown fox who doesn't wear any socks. And he's naked, naked, they're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. And went on, and I had, I'm retired, but I had a fun career, and one of the best things, I got to produce an interview with Carly Simon up in Martha's Vineyard. We had her music, she had a house and a little music studio, and I was there with, I had a host who was going to do the interview, and she was off getting her makeup done and her hair done, and I had 3 cameras set up for this interview. It was really exciting. And Carly came down to the music room to do the interview, and my host wasn't there yet, so Carly sat down, and I sat down to just chat. And it turned out I had a couple of degrees of separation from Carly. My father had worked for her father at Simon & Schuster. Her father was Dick Simon, and I had once actually sat in Dick Simon's chair. My father would give me a late-night tour of the place and say, here, the chairman sits here, sit there. Anyway, Carly comes down, and again, my host is late, so I start telling her this story about the little girl who said, now sing me a naked song. And I sang it to Carly, and I sang with a couple of extras. You know, what about the bear's got a lot of hair? What about the yak's got a furry back? And I said, you know, Carly, I've been writing this song for 30 years, and I don't have it yet. It's not finished. And Carly jumped right in and said, well, you know, it's just about animals. You got to write about people. And she went right into, there are the girls in their gowns all around town. And what about the men in spats with their fancy hats? Well, they're naked, naked, they're all naked in the eyes of the Lord. In fact, you know, this is sort of audience participation. I mean, we'll get to it. And, you know, I had the 3 cameras all set up and everything like that. And, you know, I sang the song. My host finally came, and they did the interview. And after the thing, I said to the guys, you got me and Carly sing? They had gotten so engrossed with it, they didn't turn on cameras. Do you think I ever hired those guys? Never more.